You might think you are the one calling the shots, making decisions, and controlling your thoughts and actions. But how often are these thoughts, decisions, and actions guided by something else, something you don't even notice occurring deep within your mind? Here are cognitive traps. These are biases and mental shortcuts that are hardwired into our brains. They are subtle, almost invisible, but they influence every decision you make, every thought you have. It's like your mind has a mind of its own. But the moment you start spotting them, you can start taking back control, becoming a more conscious and empowered thinker. Hey, if you are new here, I'd like to invite you to subscribe and join our dedicated community designed to propel you on your transformation journey. In this channel, we dive deep into practical psychology, we share real-life experiences, and offer financial independence skills that empower you on your personal journey. Stay with me until the end. I will be revealing this hidden mind trap that hold you back so that you can break free and break loose. And at number 1, the halo effect. Meet Chris and Emma. Chris is outgoing, ambitious, and intelligent, but also stubborn and envious. Emma, on the other hand, has the same traits: envious, stubborn, and intelligent, but she's also outgoing and ambitious. Despite having identical qualities, most people see Chris more favorably. Why? It is all about the halo effect. Let me explain. The first impression shapes our entire view. When Chris first makes an impression, his first trait creates a halo that overshadows his negative traits. Emma, however, is judged based on the order in which her traits is presented, affecting how we perceive or see her. This effect is powerful. In dating, the initial charm can obscure any red flag. At work, this first impression of someone's competence can skew evaluation of their future performance. Even in school, if a student's first assignment is graded highly, it often influences how the next assignment is judged. To avoid the halo effect, be aware of how initial impression shapes your judgment and make an effort to see beyond the first glimpse. Your brain's shortcut might not always give you the full picture. And at number 2, the sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy is the tendency to continue investing in a project or a decision based on the amount already invested rather than the current or future benefits. Imagine you are building a sand castle. You've spent a lot of time making it really cool. Suddenly, a big wave comes and ruins part of it. You could start all over, but you feel sad because you already spent so much time building it. So you decide to keep fixing it, even though it is no longer as fun anymore. That's sunk cost fallacy. It means you keep doing something because you've already put in time, money, effort into it, even if it's not a good idea keeping it. It's like sticking with a bad movie just because you already paid for the ticket. This fallacy leads to escalating commitment and poor decision making. To avoid the sunk cost fallacy, focus on the current value and future potential of a decision rather than the past investment. And at number 3, the spotlight effect. Imagine walking into the office late or spilling sauce on your shirt at a friend's party and you feel everyone is judging you based off of this. This is known as the spotlight effect. It is when you think people are paying way more attention to you than they really are. Understanding this can help you let go of the unnecessary anxiety. Most people are too focused on themselves to notice the little things you're worried about. Number 4, cognitive dissonance. Okay, imagine a little kid at a school fair eyeing the most delicious looking cookies on the table. They desperately want one, but can't reach them no matter how hard they try. Finally, they give up and tell themselves these cookies were probably too sweet and unhealthy anyways. This story perfectly captures cognitive dissonance. When we face a clash between our desires and our beliefs, our mind will often do a little trick to make us feel better, just like the kid who convinces themselves that the cookie weren't worth it. We adjust our beliefs to ease the mental discomfort caused by the conflicting thoughts. Say you applied for a job you really wanted, but didn't get it. You might start telling yourself that the job wasn't as great as you thought, just to avoid feeling disappointed. By understanding this trick our minds play, we can start to see ourselves adjusting our beliefs to avoid this discomfort and take steps towards aligning our thoughts more closely with our true desires. For instance, here is what you can do instead of just convincing yourself that the job wasn't just right for you. Seek feedbacks. Asking for feedback from your interviewer might help you understand where and what you need to improve on so that you can be better prepared for future opportunities. Again, you can take a moment to reflect on why you wanted the job in the first place. What were the aspects of the job you're excited about? And by identifying these options, you can understand your true goals and desires more clearly. And at number 5, the anchoring effect. Imagine you are at a store. You really see a toy that you really like, and the store owner says, "This toy is super special and usually costs a lot, but today is at a giveaway price." And now, even though you might not know if the toy is really that special or expensive, the store owner's word sticks in your head like an anchor. It makes you think the toy is really special, even though you are not sure. Your brain gets stuck on the first idea it hears, and it has to think about something without comparing it to that first idea. Be aware of how initial numbers or any information can influence your judgment. Next time you're making a decision, remember to set your own anchor to keep your choices in check. Don't let other anchors dictate your value. And at number 6, overconfident bias. Imagine you are really good at basketball. You can shoot hops like a pro. But sometimes you might think you can dunk like Michael Jordan, even though you've never tried that before. That's overconfidence. It is when you think you are better at something than you really are. Everyone feels overconfident sometimes, but it is important to remember that everyone makes mistakes, even the best players. It's okay to be proud of what you can do, but it's also important to be realistic. Number 7, the Dunning-Kruger effect. Imagine you're trying to learn how to ride a bike. At first, you might think you are really good because you can sit on a bike. But when you really try to ride, you fall down a lot. You might still think you are a great biker, even though you can't really ride yet. And that is Dunning-Kruger effect. It means you think you are better at something than you really are because you don't know how much you don't know. It is like thinking you are a great chef because you can read a cookbook, but then you burn the food. So it's okay to try new things, but it's important to remember that it takes practice to get good at anything. And at number 8, confirmation bias. We all have a tendency to seek out and favor information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs and opinions. Imagine you really love ice cream. You think chocolate ice cream is the best flavor in the world. Every time someone talks about ice cream, you only think about chocolate. You look for information about why chocolate is the best and ignore information about any other flavors. And that's confirmation bias. It's when you only look for information or things that prove what you already believe. So, even if someone tells you that strawberry ice cream is delicious, you might not believe them because you only like chocolate. It's important to listen to other people's opinion and try new things, even if you think you already know the answer. And at number 9, the Gam Blast fallacy. Imagine you are flipping a coin. You flip it 10 times and it lands on heads every time. You start to think it has to be tails next time. That's Gam Blast fallacy. Even though it seems like tails is due to come up, each flip of the coin is a new try. The coin doesn't remember what happened before. It could be heads again, or it could be tails. People tend to ignore the independence of random events and fall prey to this fallacy, leading to poor decision making. So, just because something happens a lot of time in a row doesn't mean it can happen again, or that the opposite will happen next time. And at number 10, the groupthink bias. Groupthink occurs when the desire for harmony or conformity in a group leads to irrational or dysfunctional decision making. Imagine you're on a team playing a game. Your team is really good friends and you all want to win. When it's time to decide on a strategy, everyone agrees with the first idea, even if it's not the best plan. Nobody wants to disagree because they want to stay friends. That's groupthink. is when everyone in a group thinks the same way and doesn't want to disagree even if it's wrong. It's like everyone jumping off a cliff because everyone else is doing it, even though it's dangerous. So it's important to listen to different ideas and think for yourself, even if you're part of a group. And at number 11, framing effect. The framing effect refers to the way information is presented, affecting decisions or judgment. Imagine you are at a busy store buying meat. You see two packages of ground beef, and one says 80% lean, while the other says 20% fat. Even though they are both saying the same thing, the 80% lean sounds more healthier, right? Okay, that's framing effect. How something is said or framed can change how you feel about it, even if it's the same thing. In this case, the meat is the same, but how it is described makes you think one is better than the other. So next time you see something, think about how it is described and if it is really what it seems. And at number 12, the stereotyping bias. Stereotyping is like putting everyone in a box. Imagine thinking that all girls like pink and all boys like blue. That's a stereotype. It's like saying everyone who wears glasses is smart, or everyone who plays sports is good at math. It's not fair because it means you think everyone in a group is the same, even though people are different. Some girls might like blue and some boys might like pink. Some people who wear glasses might not be smart, and some people who play sports might not be good at math. It's important to remember that everyone is unique and we shouldn't judge people based on how they look or what group they belong to. And at number 13, availability heuristic. This is a mental shortcut that relies on immediate examples that come to the mind when evaluating a specific topic or decision. If you hear about a plane crash on the news, you might overestimate the likelihood of such an event occurring simply because it is readily available in memory. These heuristics can screw your perception of risk and probability. And to address this, seek out comprehensive data and consider a broad range of examples rather than relying solely on a recent or vivid memories. And at number 14, the hindsight bias. This is a tendency to see events as having been predictable after they've already occurred. This bias is what makes us say, "I knew it all along," after something happens. Imagine you watch a movie and there's a surprise ending. After the movie, you tell your friend, "I knew that was going to happen," but really, you didn't know for sure. It is when you think you know something would happen after it already happened. It's like looking back at a game and saying, "I knew that player was going to miss the shot," but the reality is, you really never knew. So, next time something happens, remember that it is easy to think you knew it will happen after the fact. By understanding and recognizing these cognitive biases and fallacies, you can begin to mitigate their influence in your life. Being aware of these mental traps helps in developing a more balanced and rational thinking and approach to life, leading to a better decision and a clear understanding of the world around you. Thank you for watching, and again, I will see you next time.